Hi, in this video I want to show you two games of my students. Those games are really interesting, fascinating combinations, deep positional ideas. It would be very interesting to recap and you definitely will improve your chess understanding after this video, I bet you. My name is Pavel and welcome you to my YouTube channel and let's start. So that is the first game. My student played as white in this position. And this looks extremely dangerous for white because black is almost the queening next move, a1 queen. But the combination is always helpful. Rook goes to h8. That's the very good approach. So black basically forced to take on h8 because on king f7 we can continue an attack like this, f5. And surprisingly, those three pieces will checkmate the king. So we literally don't care about the double queens of black. We still goes with queen h5. And the queens are hopeless. Our king is very secure here. And besides, we will take on g6 and checkmate. The power of the pieces and the attack. I'm finding this position really fascinating, isn't it? So type the comment below. I'm really impressed with the idea. So returning back to the text of the game, it was rook h8. So king takes h8, queen h5. And here is a tactical point of this. Black can't go rook h6 to cover the check because of queen takes h6, and that is the pin. And after king g8, it would be easy checkmate on g7. That's the main tactical point. So black forced to move the king to g8, the only. Queen takes g6. Our treat is to go queen takes g7 mate. So the line is also forced. King need to escape, queen g7, king e8. And here another one critical position. For sure this king is very exposed and locked and we can use somehow this option. But the point is that the a1 queen is still an idea of black. So what to do here? In the game, white made a mistake. They played the bishop to f6. We will see why this is the mistake. The strongest move was bishop c5 to threat the queen e7 checkmate. And here black, they don't have the defending resource which they found in the game. So the line here could be like this: king d8, queen e7, king c8. The king needs to run, otherwise he would be checkmate. Bishop goes to d6. We want to go queen c7 mate. So queen goes b6 is the only move here. And now white can do tricky things like queen goes to e6 check. And we already see this tactical tension between those pieces, which drafts us to some tactical idea. So black need to play king d8, the only, and bishop goes to e7 check. And now we start to play on this queen. So what to do now? If, for example, black goes king c7, we have the tactical shot bishop d8. King takes d8, bishop, queen goes b6 with the check. And then we will stop the a pawn. So that would be basically winning. The other line could be king e8. And here, let me show you the line. Queen takes b6, a1. For the second, it looks like everything is not so bad. For sure, white just can't take the bishop on b7. That also gives them the winning position. But the line could be also queen d8 here. So everything is more or less forced. I like the point how we tricked the king, right? And after king e8, bishop goes to g5. The bishop on b7 is hopeless. The opposite colors bishops is always increasing the attacking possibilities. That is the rule. Yeah, and the computer sees here the forced checkmate, to be honest. The king is too unlocked. So that's regarding to the line bishop c5, which was the best, and the clear win. But besides, white played bishop to f6. And why this is the mistake? Because it looks like queen e7 and you can't go king d8, so it looks like winning. But black has queen a3, a nice move, which makes the whole diagonal under control. And that's a big problem for white. In the game, white made a mistake. They played queen h8 check. But the point is that it's such a rich position for the possibilities that computer, for example, provides as the best queen takes b7. The idea of it that after a1 queen, for example, queen takes d5, this position is the draw, surprisingly, because the black king can't escape the perpetual check. So, we will do this anyway with queen g8 and so on. Again, our pieces, the bishop and the queen, are dominate so well over this king that even double queens is not helpful. As well, I can choose this line here, king f7, bishop g5, like queen a7, queen f6, and it's still the draw. So I found this very interesting, very interesting. Besides white played queen h8, for sure it was like online rapid game and he was low on time, so it's hard to find all the things and trust in queen b7. King goes to d7. That's the mistake from black. Better was to play queen f8 for sure. And the line after queen h5, here the king escapes the checks and black is just about to promote the queen. So that it is what it is. King goes d7, queen goes d8 check. Computer here shows up that e4 for some reason is very important move. That's really wild. I will just show you the computer line after a1 queen. So the point is that now white can take on d5 with the check. And then he thinks that like some position like this, the best option for black is to repeat king b6 and bishop d4, because other way black could be even in troubles here. Because for example on king d6 I have f5 checkmate, surprisingly, right? So that's like e4 for some reason is very important. Also the idea on d takes e4 to do like this, and then we would see that black has less options, like here king d7, here king d6, bishop e5, and that still would be the draw. So this structure is blocked and king can't go somewhere down to be hidden. So e4 in my vision is impossible to find in a chess game. Hard to express the logic of this, but still an interesting moment, right? So queen d8 being played by white in this game. The human approach, to be honest, here check. So he tried to check a bit like this. Yes, and in this position at some moment, queen e8, king a6, his opponent decided to force the draw because he was less than 10 seconds, like king goes to a6 in this position. But for sure, black were able to take a victory after bishop c6, queen b8, king a4. And the problem is that the king is escapes like that. So the checks would be over at some moment and a1 queen. But the funny trick is that the king from g8 passed to the c2, right? Basically in the starting position, we force him to take on h8. So I really find out this very interesting. And I like this game. I hope you liked as well. And try to guess the rating of white. You can type this in the comment below. That would be really interesting. And now we are ready to move to the other game of my other student. Let's go for this. In this game, my student played as white. I will say that his rating on Lichess is around 2200 in Rapid and Blitz both. Very interesting opening position, pretty unusual because black got double pawns. So that's really something fresh, at least. And white should be better, right? The space advantage, the better structure, everything. d6 is very hard to perform because we can take and after takes that still would be the double pawns. So it looks like a long-term positional advantage in any case. White can do even queen d2 with castle long and so on. White decided here to pick up an interesting line h4. Personally, I like this h-pawn moving. You can find out the video about this h-pawn strategy on my channel. So the idea is that we want to force h5. That was in the game. Or we want to play h5, h6 by our own. Honestly, the best move for black was queen b6, trying to attack the pawn on b2, and prepare knight c6, attacking the pawn on d4. Here, white can do whatever. Even rook b1 will save some advantage, like knight c6, I can play c3, for example. That's still a good position for white. But I really like the approach rook goes h3. That looks a bit wild and very unusual on the move 8 in the opening. The idea that if queen takes b2 after rook b3, suddenly the queen is trapped. So it's no move for the queen. Unfortunately for us, black has knight c6. And the line could be like this, knight e2. For sure, that's not the best version because the bishop on f1 is blocked with our knight on e2. Here, rook b3, here. Yeah, the position could be like this. Something really crazy because very rarely we can see the rooks on the one side at the so early stage. But everything was behind the scenes. Black played h5 in this position, and now the structure is better for us. Because what's going on? White played here queen d2. Now it's hard for black to make the castle because we can play bishop d3, then some sacrificing on g6 could happen. So we can move g4 to unlock, right? Like g4, h takes g4, h5, unlocking the h line. So that's a very nice hook for us. which makes the castle of black potentially unavailable, and we can use the g5 square with our knight. That's basically what would happen in this game. So black played knight c6, castle long, and they decided to force the endgame queen a5. Practically probably is the best chance even, because now it's a double attack to d2 and to a2. So white decided to trade and play knight f3. Everything looks really logical. The endgame is still better because of the strong center, better structure, and still better development. The queens are gone, but the point is that it's a lot of pieces on the board. And we will see that even king-side attack is possible. We will see what I mean. b6, bishop d3 been played, and here black played castle, which is basically a huge mistake. It's not obvious, but it is, because for example, in this position, white really can play rook d goes to g1, launching an attack on this side. And the computer really proves that d6 is the best, sacrificing the pawn because we can go e takes, bishop d6, just to control the bishop g4, this square. Because for example, in the calm line, like bishop b7, g4 takes, white is almost winning. Next move is like h5, g takes, rook takes. We're in the attack. The king is exposed, he's weak, and we can do the checkmate stuffs. Really surprising that in endgame it could happen, but it really could. Why not? So in the game, my student played knight g5. That looks also logical, and it's not so easy, I believe, to find this g4 plan. And after knight b7, here white still can play g4 immediately, because after h the knight is not hanging, and we can go h5, and still it gives the big advantage. He played f3, looks also logical to prepare the way, but here black in time with the d6 because the knight is protecting. So takes, he decided to take on d6. This idea could be possible. Still white saving the best chances. After a few moves, like bishop d7, rook e1, controlling the open line. Here king d2 takes, rook e8 takes. Black left the game for some reason, so he won. But for sure in this position after bishop e8, white still counts on the edge. Yes, black has the pair of bishops, but the pawns are weak and the position is quite close. So we can, for example, transpose the bishop to b3 to attack the pawn, move up our pawns, then somehow transpose our knight to attack g5 and d6. Long-term advantage, not so big for sure. Black should handle the draw, but white saves all practical chances to win this in a good style. So I hope that you learned a lot from those games, and I hope that you enjoyed. And if you want me to be your coach, with a pleasure, you have all my contacts in my header of YouTube channel. I'm waiting you, and I really want to help you to become a better chess player. See you soon on my new episodes.